Let's now turn to the ritual history of mirrors and why they've often been avoided, veiled, or even feared. Not because they were superstitious objects, but because many cultures understood something we've forgotten. Being observed changes the outcome. In Victorian England, mirrors were covered when someone in the home died, not simply as a custom, but based on the belief that the soul might get caught in the glass. In Jewish mourning traditions, mirrors are covered to turn attention inward and to prevent spiritual entanglement during times of emotional vulnerability. In Eastern European folklore, mirrors were never placed across from beds, because it was said the soul could be pulled from the body during sleep if it caught its own reflection. These aren't just poetic ideas. They're practical protections built on the premise that mirrors are not passive objects. They are responsive, and during altered states of consciousness, like grief, sleep, or trance, the field becomes more permeable. In energetic terms, a mirror that is not intentionally closed or veiled can become an ambient observer. This means it continues watching the field long after you've stopped using it. That watching alters the room's frequency, and in many cases, makes the space feel emotionally distorted, heavy, or difficult to rest in. Now let's look at this from a consciousness perspective. If you've ever felt self-conscious around a mirror, it's not just body image or vanity. It's because the mirror heightens your awareness of being perceived, even if only by yourself. And the moment that happens, the behavior changes. Your tone of voice shifts. Your posture adjusts. Your emotional tone filters. You are no longer just being. You are reacting to the awareness that you are being observed. This exact mechanism is used in behavior modification. Surveillance cameras change people's behavior. Social media front-facing cameras alter speech tone and vocabulary. Zoom calls encourage facial regulation and posture correction. In mirror work, this phenomenon becomes spiritual. The act of observation modifies the observed, but it also reprograms the observer. This is why mirror training is so important in consciousness work. When you sit with your own gaze long enough, without reacting, adjusting, or performing, you begin to break the loop. You start to see through the layer of social correction, false self, and projection. And over time, you develop what spiritual systems would call non-dual awareness, the ability to be both the perceiver and the perceived, without distortion. This is the deeper meaning behind the idea that the mirror knows the truth. Not because it has magic, but because it removes everything that isn't. Let's now bring everything together by asking a critical question. If the mirror acts as an observer, and that observation alters both the subject and the space, then how do we use this tool consciously, rather than be used by it unconsciously? In spiritual training, especially in traditions that emphasize clarity of perception, whether Eastern meditative lineages, Western magical systems, or modern intuitive protocols, the mirror is treated as a field coherence tool. That means it can help you detect internal fragmentation when your surface doesn't match your signal, psychic interference when what you're seeing feels imposed or unfamiliar, programmed identity responses like default expressions, personas, or triggers, disembodied belief loops, old emotional patterns resurfacing in facial micro-reactions. In plain language, the mirror shows you where you're not aligned, and that makes it invaluable.